It's a big budget day, and if it was a vote on account, though many announcements have been made. What were the announcements, and what's their real meaning? To decipher all that and much more, we're joined by Finance Minister's A team, including Revenue Secretary Mr. Sanjay Malhotra and CEA Mr. Nageshwaran, and CI DG Mr. Banerjee here also to decode certain things. Sir, thanks for talking to ET Now. First of all, beginning with you, capex target 11.
We have till now an overall growth of about 13%. If you all recall, the targets, the B was set at a growth rate of 10.5% over the revenue figures last year. This was in line with the expected nominal GDP growth rate. However, the revenues have been much more buoyant, as I mentioned, 13%, and now projected as per RE figures to 12.5%. So that's a buoyancy of 1.4, which is huge. Since already 10 months have elapsed, I said, we are very realistic, very confident that we should be able to achieve these targets. Similarly, for next year, the target for revenue is at a growth rate of about 11.5% over the RE of this year. The economy, the nominal GDP is expected to grow as per the projections given in the budget at about 10.5%. So this is a buoyancy of less than 1.1. So again, very, very realistic given the way the revenues have behaved, given the way the people have supported and contributed to the economy, the mention of which was also made by the Honorable Finance Minister and in her budget speech.
And to Mr. Nageshwaran, so 2047, definitely a lot is now being targeted, big ambitions. Next 5 years going to be golden moments, as said by FM Sitharaman today. What about the larger picture of the economy? You are definitely optimistic. Where the optimism coming from?
Yeah, the optimism comes from multiple sources. One is the way in which we handled the economic and health fallout of the COVID pandemic. That is what has set the stage for a moderate inflation increase and then a settling down at lower levels, and which therefore means that the interest rates didn't have to rise too much as it did in other countries. And then the cleanup of the bank and also on the corporate sector balance sheets, which was the problem we faced in the second decade. Now both banks are willing to lend. If you look at non-food credit, excluding personal loans, they are growing at 13%. And then you look at the physical infrastructure, digital infrastructure that have been set in motion, and also about the social infrastructure, number of medical colleges, management institutions, engineering colleges, etc. And the women's enrollment ratio in secondary and tertiary education have significantly improved. And then the financial inclusion project, which was launched in 2015, the PM Jan Dhan Yojana, with 55% of the new account holders being women. So there is all-round development, both in terms of in terms of three things: physical, digital, social infrastructure, etc. And therefore, the fact that we have great balance sheets in the corporate sector and in the banking sector, and then we have the infrastructure ready to support the productive potential of the economy, and there is investment in the skilling and education of the population, which will then feed into the corporate sector and for growth. These are the broad areas which sets us optimistic about the future growth prospects of the economy.
We're here joined by Mr.